Alright, so we're back. So I'm just going to use a power supply for the monitor. And this is the same power supply that was in the parts list that you get from Amazon. Or if you buy the entire kit from us, that's what will be included. And this I'm just going to pull off. And I need an HDMI cable. Of course, I gotta come over here and get it. And this is one of the HDMI cables that from Amazon. It's just pretty small. It's not very big. Because you don't want to, there's a mass of wires in the back of this thing as it is. But it just helps cut down on them a little bit. All right, so I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to plug this into the Pi. And this is my Kodi box. So let's see. All right, so let me plug this in. It comes around the side. All right, we got a green light. That is on. That's nice. It says no signal. There will be one here shortly. And there is a little board here, so you can go source. And we just make sure that there it is. So, yep, this is working just fine. Shut it down. Pull this out. All right. Better safe than sorry. Always test. I've never had one of these monitors bad before, but there's a first time for everything, and I wouldn't want to do it on video. So now these monitors, you don't want to clean these with like a paper towel or something like that. You want to use a microfiber because there's no plexiglass over the top of this. So you scratch this and it's scratched. There's no fixing it. But at least with plexiglass, you can almost fix it. And then this just goes over the top. And the buttons just go right in like that. So now we're gonna flip it over like this. And now we can access everything here. And we can access these. So what I'm gonna do first is start doing some soldering. Now this is you need 3 wires out of here. So what we're going to do is the inside ones are ground. So we're just going to jump over and then run 1 wire out. 1 wire for the up, 1 wire for the down. And it depends on which way you want. I usually do this one up. So I usually go up, down. So it really doesn't matter. It's user preference. So, but anyways, I am going to strip some of these. And this is a servo. It's called servo wire. There's 3 strands. So, and also the amp that's in the parts list is here. So what we're going to do is we're wiring the volume knobs for this. Now, so if you look at this, you'll see this is where the speakers go. Power goes. This is where the audio goes into the Raspberry Pi. And then this jumper, this jumper's in place so you can use these buttons to go up and down. But you pull this jumper off. And if you look here, so you've got DW for down, up, ground, and a VDD. So this pin you don't care about. You just want these. So the outside one has to be ground. The center one is for the up button. So if you get 3 wires here, obviously the outside one's going to be ground, this side's going to be up, and that's going to be down. And it just depends on where you solder these 2 wires. And it could be, any which way. So there's no right or wrong for this one. So I'll turn my soldering iron on. So I'm just going to trim these a little bit. And here we don't want to trim a lot. Just a 1/4 inch, maybe a little 1/8 of an inch. Now servo wire is copper. I guess it's for better signal transfer. All right, so I'm gonna get my solder out, and I'm just gonna put a little flux on these wires so I can tin them. And get my solder. Here I'm just gonna load up the tip a little bit, and then tin them. There we go, 3 tinned wires. And I need another short piece because I got to make a bridge between the two, so I don't want a very big one. And I'm going to do this one a bit, that one a little bit. Now I'm just twisting the ends. Put some flux. That's a little bit much. There we go. And again, I'm going to load up my tip with some solder. And see, that should have enough. There's one frayed wire there, but it should be good. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the inside here. And the reason why I go in this way, it's because if I came in the sides, this might end up touching this, you know, or there's a chance that it could. And so now these, you have to be quick. I mean, real quick. As a matter of fact, I want to be real quick, so I'm going to put a little, flux on there, because I want this stuff to flow almost instantly. These buttons are, they're very very touchy to heat, so you don't want to heat them very long. So I'm going to start loading up the tip and then get it in there and then done. Oops. So I'm going to come back in. There we go. Because that post will start wiggling around if it gets too hot. And we certainly don't want that. So now I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to put the black one in. Alright, so I get the black one through the hole here. Now you can use a toothpick or a little tiny screwdriver. I just happen to have this handy, so I just get a little flux in there. And that'll help this solder to flow pretty quick. And load up the tip. There we go. That should do it. Yep, it's in there. So now what we want to do is decide what we want for up and down buttons. So I can go down, up. I kind of want this one up. So the one on the right will be up, and the one on the left will be down. So the center one, remember, is up. So I'm going to put this through this little hole in here, and now I'm going to put a little flux on there, and then hit it with the solder. Again. There we go, and that's in there. So now the only one left to do is the down button, yellow. There we go, and maybe put a little flux on there, and here we go. And that should do it. We're in there. So that wire is done. Now we're going to come over to the other side. Now, there's no positive or negative side. This is a switch, so it doesn't really matter which way these go on, because there's, like I said, it's just a switch. And what the switch is doing, not to insult anybody's intelligence, is to take an open wire and to connect them together. So essentially, this is really one wire. So I'm just going to twist the ends, and I'm going to tin these. These are kind of thin wires, so I might do something different for the other side. There we go. Load up my, oh, it's already got some on the tip. Not enough. There we go. Just tin these up a little bit. And like I said, doesn't really matter. We're just gonna put it there. And again, I don't want to put too much heat on this. So I'm gonna put a little flux to help the solder flow. And there we go, that is in. Now I just do the other side. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little flux to that and solder this. Well, that should be. Yep, we're good. All right, so that part is done. Now, on the other end here, this is kind of thin wire, so I want to do something a little different. So, pull these off. There we go. Again, I'm just going to tin the ends of these. Get a little solder on the tip. Solder on the tip. There we go. So I'm probably done with the soldering iron. Now I'm going to use these. These things are wire ferrules, and I know some people might recognize these from the days of doing programming PLCs, things like that. But if you don't know what they are, really doesn't matter. These things are pretty cool. So I'm just going to take one of these and I'm going to slide it on the end, and then see how this comes down to a square. So if you have a little electrical toolbox, and then I just crimp it, done. That's not going anywhere. And then these I'll just put right into these things, all nice. So we don't have the, the wire like that. So there you go, done. And now the back side of this wire is the fun part. So let's separate the three. All right. Here. And these, we're not going to tin these sides, but we're going to give it, whoops. Here. There. Pull the ends off. Sorry, I think I just did that where you off camera so you couldn't see it. All right, so we got these things, and so we're gonna have to put an end on. So I'm going to pull off 3 of these. There's 1. 2. 3. Now I would take the end and now I just frayed that one. So, and you see these are going to go sit right in like this, and I always like this just to pop these over just a little bit. There we go. That's going to stay on there, and that is the big side. So we got to go this way. So, all right, so we're going to go this way. It's just going to drop in here. And that's it. Pop it out. Done. But sometimes you got to bend this back just a little hair. All right, so do the next one. I want this in there just a tad. Whoops, is that going in? There we go. Take my needle nose. Hey, fell off. So let's just try to do it this way. This is actually the correct way of doing it. So you put it down in here. The only problem is it crimps it a little too much. And I want to get the I want to get some of the wire coating inside there, and sometimes it's a little difficult to do that with these small wires. So pull this out. This again. Can't really see it, but there's a little ridge in there. There. So it doesn't look like I'm going to get any of that in there. So there we go. Done. So there we go. Now I take the black, which is ground, and slide it in there. Oops, come on. Doesn't want to turn. There we go. That's in there. Bend it back just a little. So now I have 3. So, yeah. Let me get. Here, I am just going to use 3. So here, now I'm just going to use a 3-way. So, and you can see they only go in one way. That's too small, that's just right. And then you see these sections on the top. So, and if you look at the wires, they really only should go in this way. So I got one there. The red's going to be the center, so I have to twist this around. So it goes in the same way. Come on, get in there. And now the yellow, which is already pointing that way. There. And then I just pop them in. There. And then you feel a little click when they go in. And that's it. Done. They're not coming out. So when we go to hook up on here, we take the black wire and we skip the first one, and it just goes like this, right in there. And that's it. And then you're in. And that gives you your volume control buttons. So, and so we put that back. So now the last thing to do on here is position this. So I usually like to go about like here, which should be fine. Now, like I said, in your kit, you get these little standoffs, and we generally just put 2 per board. So we're going to go 2, since we have 2 boards. There's 4. I'm going to take 4 screws out. And you really want to use these screws. You know, these are 1/2 inch long, but if you happen to lose one of these and go out and get something, then if it's too long, you're going to poke into the monitor back there, and you don't want to do that. So I'm just going to take this guy, and I'm just going to put it underneath the hole here, drop this through like that, and actually these are, let me see, I get something here. Alright, so let me see, I try these little guys instead. So I'm going to drop this in. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to be lazy. You really want to do this by feel. You don't want to go too heavy with it. But I'm just to where it's snug. I don't really want to go much more. And then I'm going to put one down here. Like that. So I'm going to put one in there. Now this control board, that is actually if you needed the backlight for the screen, but that's all built into this wire, so you don't need backlighting on a screen. If you get the other monitor, the one that's we list in the parts supply or the parts list, you will plug into there. So it's got a little ribbon cable that comes out. And so here we just want to put this somewhere out of the way, and like that. And you're never gonna. This is like menu power, turn it on, off, source, and you can go up and down through the menus. But you know, this thing is a set and forget. We're not gonna make any changes. So it automatically comes on when it senses the power. The only thing you might have to do is when you first time you ever turn it on with the Raspberry Pi is hit the source until it says HDMI on the screen, and that would be it. But once you do it once, then you don't have to do it again. And here. All right, that's in there, and that part is done. So one other thing, you know, these wires are kind of a little unruly here, so I am going to try, just put a little piece of tape on it. This is just supposed to be transparent duct tape, but not really transparent. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit. Just find a nice little spot here. There we go. Just to hold the wires down so we don't have to worry about it. And that is it. So this monitor is put together. And we can set it off to the side when we're ready to start doing the rest of the assembly. But just keep in mind, you know, if that looked like too much for you and you don't want to go through all that, you know, we do offer the monitor with the buttons, pre-assembled, soldered, wired, everything done. We wrap it up in bubble pack and put it in your kit package for an extra $100. So it saves you a bit of time. So it's like $25 to get all that done, which is, it didn't really take that long, but it's a little tedious. And if you don't have all the tools and the things to do it, well, I can see where, you know, an extra $25 wouldn't hurt. So, see you in the next video.